these arrangements started was during 2020 and COVID, when churches weren't meeting. I was watching live streams, and I thought, maybe I could help the singing of this church, because sometimes pianists maybe just have less material to work with, or they have only just a hymnal. And so while I wasn't writing choir music at the time, I thought, okay, I can contribute more to congregational singing. So I just started with a few hymns, and then it kind of blossomed from there, and we saw a real transformation in our singing in our congregation.
And I know I am the baby, safely home I can praise. As a local church musician, I've had a chance to work with Molly for 4 years now, and maybe 3 years ago, we started to think through ideas of how we could help our folks to sing better. And really they were geared for our church here in Michigan. So they were born out of a desire to enhance congregational singing within our local ministry. So it's really local church based. So in writing the arrangements, we tried to make, I would say, every arrangement like a choral arrangement, in that it has interest and it has creativity to it, and it really inspires our folks to sing.
At our church, we love congregational singing. We believe that that's the best way for us to sing, where we're singing together in psalms, hymns, spiritual songs, making a melody in our hearts to the Lord, and using these arrangements that Molly has written in our church has caused us to have joy in our singing. It's caused a freshness to what we're doing within our congregation. It's engaging for both the younger generation and for our older generation. And it's really been a blessing to see our singing actually get better as a congregation because of the arrangements that Molly has done.
I started by lowering the keys and writing introductions that did not quote the hymn tune. And I saw a vast difference in their singing. When they entered into a sound world rather than an imposed musicianship.
I've used, over my years in ministry, a lot of different orchestrations that were written for orchestra, and they're often either boring or they can be difficult to play, difficult transitions, often in keys that are too high for the average vocalist in the congregation to sing. So by lowering the keys, by providing variety in the instrumentation and writing it for where the church musician is, realizing there's a broad spectrum. So the arrangements are written, if you would have a professional level player within your orchestra, they would enjoy playing them because the lines are beautiful. If you would have an average high school player, they could play them because they're within their grasp. And you often will have a spot and there'll be a place written instrumentally, and our folks really maybe aren't pulling it off as well as we want them to, well then the piano can carry it. And so there's a lot of variety, a lot of give and take, and if you're a church musician like I am, you realize that your orchestra varies from week to week. You don't always have the same players. Well, that works too. So it's not solely dependent on having a full string or a full brass section. They vary back and forth. They share lines, and that really makes it useful for the church musician, I believe.
I've had friends that are good instrumentalists that say they have never been able to play anything before. They don't have material, and now they're not playing the hymnal, and they're playing harmonies that they enjoy. It livens up the singing in a way where they're communicating to the singers and the singers respond.
The biggest thing I loved about the congregational music here when I was just looking for a church was the fact that it bridged this gap between contemporary and conservative kind of in that way, because we're able to sing modern hymns, but in the way and style that our church does music. And that was really cool. I had never seen that before. I'd never heard that before.
Jesus said that if I thirst, I should come to him.
It's been a joy to arrange hymns during an era where a lot of new hymns are being written. Anything from Church Works to City of Light to Phil Wickham to Matt Boswell. There's a lot of new hymns that are being written with very intentional, doctrinally rich sound texts. And the tunes are just, they come alive off the page. And it's just a privilege to kind of jump into that world and provide a little bit of spice and beauty and just listen to the congregation sing. I think so often, musicians just kind of saw along with their hymnals, but my desire is for our musicians to be able to communicate the beauty of the text and the tune to the congregation and listen to them respond.
It's not just the new arrangements, so taking a hymn that we've sung for many, many years and freshening it up, and now they're thinking about text. It's not just the same old, and the truth of that just comes alive, and the joy of singing, I think, really impacts us all.
It's given me more excitement to sing. I think sometimes when you're sitting in the auditorium and you're looking at the bulletin, maybe has the songs you're singing that day, as you look at some of them and you get really excited when you see certain songs, and then also some of the older ones. Now when I'm sitting in here, it used to be I'd see that song and go, okay, I know what this is going to sound like. But it's kind of this excitement because I read it and I go, oh, this is one of Molly's arrangements. It's an older song, but let's see what Molly did with it. And that's kind of cool because I never know what it's going to be. It's familiar enough that I can stay with it, but it's also different enough that it's new and exciting.
I am enjoying singing now more than at any point in my ministry. And that relays to folks in our church body. They're enjoying singing. And so it's made my job much more impactful to me personally as I worship with our people, as you hear the beauty combined with wonderful text, and it really makes all that come together in a really special way.
We have seen such a transformation that I really wanted to make this resource available for other churches as well.